Hey folks, Nick Valdez here, and today we're going to be talking about the gold and silver prices. We have gold hitting against resistance. Also, we're going to look at U.S. oil, nat gas, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm trading some natural gas options, folks. And of course, we're going to look at some other commodities as well. We're going to look at copper. Copper very close to an all-time high yesterday, and I have some very interesting food prices that might be related to what we're seeing with the inflation print, everybody, and including a major breakout underway for one of the major food staples out there. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the gold chart, everyone. Now, gold hitting against this resistance right here. Now, I want you to remember this. Look at this high in April and high in May, because what we're seeing with silver is a very different perspective, folks. But right now, if you draw this trend line from the high here to the high there, we are hitting against that. And you can see we are rejecting off this price just today. We hit against it yesterday. We also hit against it on Thursday of last week. And now we have some potential targets to the downside. One of the main areas that I'm watching is this pivot high. You can see it acted as resistance that established our trend line. And if you draw it out, that took us right to this wick here in May of 2026 for the gold price. And it also acted as support down here. Now, this is an ever-changing target, but right now, it looks like it's right around 39.60. And this one is going to be moving, folks, as it heads a little bit lower and lower. Let's just say if it were to happen tomorrow, actually 39.20, so 39.40 right there. So keep an eye out on this, as this price is going to be slightly declining as we move forward. Now, let's look at the silver chart. Now, remember, I said look at the April high and the May high of this year. Look at silver. This is the April high and this is the May high. So we're seeing a much different chart analysis where silver was putting in as far as a local time period or a smaller time period, was putting in a higher high, where gold was putting in a lower high. So silver does have some key potential breakout targets that might not be on the table for gold, but definitely on the table for silver. And then we're going to look at my nat gas trade, everybody. And of course, we're going to look at the U.S. oil as things, start to heat up in the Middle East. Now with silver, I am looking at this pivot low that actually acted as resistance and gave us a nice horizontal pivot line. And so this might be a potential area to maybe, have a nice little area of support, and maybe silver can bounce from this. And then we can start talking about retouching the top of this parallel. You can see the bottom here, the top here, that establishes these two lines right here in this parallel channel. And then we came down here, acted as support, and it acted as resistance again, acted as support again. And so if we do shoot all the way up here, you're looking at silver hitting in the 70s, folks. This looks like right around $77. If it happens, say, within the next couple weeks. Today's the 18th, of course, and this is going to be about 10 days later, the 28th. You got about a $77.75 ounce of silver. But right now, I'm watching for a retest, aka return to the scene of the crime. And with silver, we are in some silver options. We got some forward dated options, a couple months, October for the strike price there. And we are in the money. But if we come down retest, I might even add, because I have taken some profit. I've locked in profits. I have some extra cash on the sidelines. Maybe I redeploy if the support starts looking kind of strong, folks. All right, now let's look over at the other commodities. Let's look at oil. Oil also in a descending parallel channel, pretty close to the top, folks. This is, you can see the bottom here, the top here. We can just keep kind of bouncing around in this range. And it looks like we had some nice support right here, right below the midway point of the parallel, which is what we saw right here as well. Nice little support at the midway point of the parallel. But we might get pulled down. And, if we see a lot of peace talks as we get closer to the election, I'm going to start looking for some longs at the bottom of this parallel. I don't think I'd want to jump in at the midway point here. Now let's look at nat gas, everybody. Nat gas. Look at this pivot high in February of 2026. And if you come into this area right here, that establishes this trend line. Let me get that just a little bit further. Establishes this trend line. And what do you know? Nat gas bouncing off this as support. So we might see a potential breakout on nat gas, because nat gas, is related to oil. But there's going to be it's a different animal, folks. There's a lot of production in America, whereas U.S. oil's a little bit more dependent on the Strait of Hormuz. But nat gas, there are nat gas facilities. They're in Qatar. They have some in Saudi Arabia as well. And so don't think that nat gas is going to be immune to what we're seeing over there in the Middle East, thousands of miles away. Now, as far as a breakout level, I'm liking this pivot area right around 332, 330 or so. To me, that would be a good place to take some profit. But I told you, I'm going to reveal how I do my trades with nat gas. I'm primarily using an ETF. Can I get a little, make them say in the chat because it's UNG. I know I had to do the Master P reference there, folks. Now, looking at the pivot high, it's March of 2025. And then you can see this pivot high in January of 2026. And so if we were to just kind of look, March of 2025 is this area right here. So nat gas was higher in this area. But if you look at this nat gas, it's the United States Natural Gas Fund LP. If you look at this nat gas ETF, it's a lower high. So maybe a little bit of opportunity here. But we are below this slightly ascending trend line. And so I'm keeping an eye on this. This is also another one. We got some options. We did buy some here, took a little profit, dipped below, added to our position. And so I'm looking for some exits, maybe around if we can get to some of these pivot areas right here. Or honestly, I might even, take an exit right around this trend line because as we added here, we lowered our average entry price on this one. Now, let's have a little teaching lesson. In a little bit after this copper chart, because copper, huge move in copper yesterday. We actually had our highest close in history. Now you can see we wicked higher back here. This is January 2026. But as far as daily closes, this is the highest close we've ever seen when it comes to copper just 2 days ago. And the highest open was yesterday. And so copper at basically an all-time high with a major pullback today. Now the wick yesterday didn't hit this wick that we had seen, earlier in the year. This is going to be off the heightened volatility. This a little bit of an AI play here. The data centers do use a lot of copper, but copper is just going to be in electric vehicles as well. It's just going to be in home building. So it's a lot of moving factors when you talk about the copper chart here. But let's zoom out a little bit because it looks a little bit sloppy. But this is a long ascending parallel. And so you can see the top here, you can see the bottoms there. If you zoom in, you can actually see some pretty strong support. Like look at this daily candle close and this candle open. Look at that candle open as well. And so you're seeing a lot of just activity around this parallel channel. And if we go right here, you can also see a lot of activity. We did try to break out of this range. It pulled back very quickly the very next day, wicked into it there, wicked into it there. Try to break above, and then that's where you're going to see that pivot high right there. The pivot, the resistance, we got it right around 14,110 on the copper price. But now let's do a little bit of a teaching lesson here. Can you folks spot the setup? I'll wait a minute. I'll let you kind of look at this chart, soak it in, soak in the bubble bath here. What chart setup are we seeing? I'm trying to not, give the lead away here. And so before I reveal that, I want you to look at this trend line as well. So if we draw this out, bam, what do you know? We hit it there for resistance, kind of hit it right there for resistance as well. So this might be a little bit of a hurdle for this. I'm going to reveal it, inverse head and shoulders. And so I'm kind of waiting to make sure we can get past this trend line here. But folks, this could be a very nice inverse head and shoulders breakout. You can see the left shoulder. You can see the head, and then you can see the right shoulder. And we rejected off the neckline, and now coming in for one more retest. So keep an eye on this on the wheat chart. So this is wheat. Let me remove that. Wheat, Tecrium Wheat Fund ETV. So this is basically a wheat ETF, an exchange traded vehicle. That's what the ETV stands for. But I'm also seeing a huge breakout on another food ETF, and that is corn. Corn. Look at this, folks. Now, we have really had to zoom out. This is May of 22. Corn also spiked in 22, as well as wheat. Wheat, of course, had a major spike because of the Russian-Ukraine war. There's a lot of wheat that is produced in that area. So the war spiked the wheat futures. So people paying a lot of money for those bushels of wheat relative to what we had seen in the past. And because wheat was going to be more expensive, well, people assume, they're going to be looking for a substitute of wheat. One of those main substitutes is going to be corn. The other one is rice. And so corn, though, looking at this descending trend line, folks, potentially breaking out of this. And we've seen some very interesting prints with inflation. So we might see some more expensive food costs, especially if these corn and wheat ETFs or ETVs, they start spiking in the future, because it is going to dictate what you see at the grocery store. It won't be immediate. If you see this spike here, don't expect that the corn cob to all of a sudden cost more at Publix or Kroger or whatever your favorite grocery store is. Walmart actually sells the most, but you will see it down the line. It will take a while, but it'll trickle through the supply chain. And the next thing you know, corn's in a lot of things, folks. You're going to be opening a bag of Doritos and you're going to be like, God, why did Doritos get so expensive? The corn chart kind of tells you what's going on, folks. So that is the commodities video for today. Keep an eye out, especially on this gold breakout, or I'm sorry, trend line here, as it rejected a breakout, maybe trying to, shoot above. But folks, pretty close to a bull flag setup here. So we might have some very interesting targets. And if you lay out that bull flag, it looks like we're going to be potentially playing with some of these pivot highs right around 4,800, 4,700. So keep an eye out on this chart, folks. That's all I got for today. Thank you for watching here at Verified Investing. Make sure you watch my show, Crypto Revealed, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live every Monday through Thursday, and Crypto Combat on Friday. Very exciting episode last week. Make sure you go back and check that out if you haven't. And we put a lot of these charts on the website as well, verifiedinvesting.com. Check it out below. We got a link. Thank you for sticking around to the end. As always, Nick Valdez out. I'll see you in the future. Appreciate it.